here with the John Deere and trying to think of improvements. I just picked up a hitch off of Marketplace, and I think if we were to cut it off like here and then cut one hole right about here, we could mount, using these existing holes, we could mount a hitch on here pretty quick, pretty easy. Then we could put accessories on the back. We could tow things with it. I'm thinking about building another seat back here. If you've seen my video of Troy number 5 with a seat on the back, it's on the wheelie bars. This has no wheelie bars, but it'd be the same concept. Kind of like a bed extender that comes up and has a seat on it. That's what I'm thinking right now. Let's get started. And this just in, if we were to take the plasma and cut it real close here, this would become a whole second hitch for a different mower. That's genius. So the plasma is quick and easy. I'll take the grinder and clean it up. And then if we drill a hole here, drill a hole there, that'll be a hitch for a different mower. Who knows, maybe Clifford wants a hitch. I don't know. And I'm gonna look up 13333, just see what this used to fit on, just out of curiosity. A little bit hot yet. I think on John Deere, I'm gonna use a grinder to cut the hole because that's right beside the gas tank and these hot sparks beside the gas tank. I prefer grinder sparks by a gas tank. I was going to clean this side up all pretty, but that's going to the inside. You'll never see it once it's on the mower. This is all you'll see. So I might clean up a little bit, put a little black paint on it, and we're gonna call it done. So what I'm thinking, it used to mount like this on a bumper. We've already modified it once by cutting it in half. I'm gonna modify it again by turning it upside down. And what I think, once we cut a hole here, the receiver, when you put it in, can go inside of the frame. This will mount flush on these ridges, and we'll use those existing holes, drill those out, and it'll look just like that. So I was just holding the hitch in place. I took the marker and I marked where it needs to go. Then I took the tape measure and I made a square. Now I'm gonna use the grinder, get this square cut out, and we'll be sure we don't cut through the gas tank when we're cutting up here. We'll push it up out of the way. That's what's going to look like. There's the door with this new access hole. We can look in and check on our lifted pulley system. There's the drive shaft all the way up to the pillow block bearing. Using the original pulley is really good for a belt keeper. If the belt falls off, when you let off the clutch, it goes right back into place. Anyway, all is good. The gas tank is back in place. It is right there. And what else? I need to drill a hole. I need to drill this out bigger, drill that out bigger, clean this up with a file, paint it, and we're ready to mount. So I just bored out this hole, and I drilled that hole. That'll give a little extra support at the top. And if I've not told you yet, I love a unibit, especially a good sharp unibit. My next step, I have to paint these washers, paint this hole, and once it dries, we'll get it installed. It's time to get this thing started. This comes with these big flat washers and these carriage head bolts. You know, they slide right into these little grooves. Making sure the taillight wire is not underneath those. I almost feel like those bolts are going to be too short by the time we put these washers on, but maybe not. Found it up. Make sure everything's centered. That looks good. Shrink. Well, let's try out some of my different hitches. This one looks pretty good. This one was homemade by my cousin. If we use it, we'll be 24 inches up off the ground. 23 inches up off the ground. Let's try some different ones. This one is not homemade. It's the same as the other, 23 and a half. And here's an adjustable. This is one of my favorite. I used to pull my camper with it. You can raise it and lower it. This is the cargo carrier that was on the Husqvarna, Special Agent Orange. That is cool in there. Got a little bit of a weakness for mowers. I also have a weakness for hitches, all those hitches on the floor. My hitch collection, there's probably more laying around here. And this little hitch, when I bought Colonel Craftsman years and years ago, this was on Colonel Craftsman before it was the Colonel. And then maybe tomorrow we can go get some metal and build that seat. Even with the big drop lift, it might be too tall for this trailer. The trailer is now hooked up. It is squatting. That's only temporary. I want to move it, mow underneath it, maybe put it back. And I know Colonel loves to pull a trailer. Let's see how much John loves to pull a trailer. So you missed it. It pulls it just fine. It's just the tongue's a little heavy. It was doing wheelies. First time John's ever done wheelies. So I was in the middle of mowing. I need to move the trailer so that I can mow some more. Anyway, let's do some wheelies while we move the trailer. So I just came in from Metal Supermarket. They've got a whole bunch of scraps they put on the shelf. You go in there and pick out what you want. They sell it by the pound, $1.49 a pound for this steel. And what I'm thinking, on the back of the mower where the hitch is, I want to build a seat holder. You can carry a rider back there. So if we were to weld that there, I was thinking maybe cut a triangle out here, put a little brace there. And then cut this out big enough, just big enough for the seat to bolt onto. It would mount to the top and paint it black, drill a hole, pin it on the mower. You got an extra seat. Let's get started. Start first by welding this up. Decide what we're gonna do about a brace. And I don't plan on cutting these. These were the size when I bought them. We're gonna build the seat that size. So I just polished up this end and this end, and I made enough for the ground wire to go on. I've got my magnetic square in place. It's time to start welding here. And I was going to cut out a triangle from this. This is what I picked up today to make a little brace in there. And I was looking around the shop at my scraps. I have that one. We could have used this one. We could have made one out of that one. I should use this one. It's already got a hole in it. I could drill a hole in that one. And we could use that one. I should probably walk out to the mower, plug it in, and see what it looks like. But I'm gonna go ahead and weld it. So up on this plate, I just drilled these 2 holes. They go through the plate, through the mount. There's a total of 4 holes. These were 2 existing. I drilled those 2 holes. So there will be 4 bolts holding the seat on. For this, it's a spring. It goes through this hole. As far as this sticking up too far, I'm just gonna stack some washers here, some washers there, washers over here. And that way I don't have to cut out all of this metal. That would weaken up my mount. And the last 2 things, I need to drill 2 holes here for the springs that go in the back. Then we need to paint it, bolt it all together, and go try it out. I'm here in the shop. I was trying to gather some metal to finish this seat bracket. I was going to run to the store, but they're closed for the holiday, and I'm okay with them being closed for the holiday. Then I started digging around the garage. This is the piece we cut off the hitch. It's like it's made for this. If we were to drill a hole through, put a pin in, we're basically done. We could pull the pin, spin around, we could sit backwards. All I have to do is mount a seat on top of it. I have a Murray that wants to donate a seat. Then we paint it black. Before we paint it black, I want to put some kind of bracket here to put your feet on. Then we paint it black, and then it's done. Today is a holiday. I want to go to the river. It's probably going to be crowded, and there's probably people that want to ride on the back of a lifted John Deere. Again, love me some Unibit. These are just cheap little clearance Unibits from Tractor Supply, but they work great. I just make sure to keep it oiled and light pressure. And that was not sped up at all. All right, I just ran the 1/2-inch drill bit through both of these holes. Let's see how they line up. I also ran some sandpaper over the pin. Oh, that's good. So let's go ahead and get the seat mounted, get our foot peg put on, and then we'll paint it. We'll call it done. So future plans, this Craftsman, it's got a cruddy front end. I want to take the front end out of the four-wheeler and make this a four-wheel drive lawnmower. This Murray, I'm not planning on fixing up, but it has an engine. Put this engine in that Craftsman. But for today, still this seat, and that goes on the back of the John Deere. Yes. So I have the seat set in place. There's 3 steps we need to do. Step 1, the hitch holes did not line up with the holes in this plate, but we can drill 2 holes that match these holes. Then if we drill a hole in this, we can have the original Murray suspension. And then what I think I'll do is cut out this size hole here so everything can sit flat down on this plate. For our rear springs, if we take our plate from Metal Supermarket and mount it on here, we can drill 2 holes, mount the springs back here, they go back there. We can have all the original Murray suspension on this seat. Update on the diamond plate seat base, I just drilled 2 holes to mount it to the hitch. Next, I'm gonna wrap the plasma cutter, cut out this so everything can sit flat. We still need to drill 1 hole in the hitch for the suspension for the seat. And then I wanna round off these edges to make it a little bit safer. Then we're gonna paint it, put it together, and go test it. That is perfect. So up on this plate, I just drilled these 2 holes. They go through the plate, through the mount. There's a total of 4 holes. These were 2 existing. I drilled those 2 holes. So there will be 4 bolts holding the seat on. For this, it's a spring. It goes through this hole. As far as this sticking up too far, I'm just gonna stack some washers here, some washers there, washers over here. And that way I don't have to cut out all of this metal. That would weaken up my mount. And the last 2 things, I need to drill 2 holes here for the springs that go in the back. Then we need to paint it, bolt it all together, and go try it out. This is just estimating. I still have to measure and drill where they go, but that'll be right after lunch, and then we can put it together. This is a Mexican-Italian lunch break working on the John Deere. So everything is finished except for this needs to be painted and it needs to be put together. Before we paint this, I need to drill a hole so I can mount this. This is for your feet to go on. I'm thinking right there would be great, or maybe right there would be better. I'm gonna put the footrest on first while the coast is clear. This is a grade 8 bolt with a self-locking nut. That should be good enough. It's just a footrest. I guess people might stand on it, but it should be strong enough for that too. Anyway, speaking of the rest, let's get the rest of it put on. So we could sit the seat backwards or we could put it forward. We'll start with going forward. Let's put the seat on. So this spring didn't want to cooperate. It was getting hung up underneath. I just took it off. We'll just use these 2 springs, which that's more than the Troy-Bilt has. And the hitch is a little bit flexible. It's so hot, it may be time for a swim. This is Blake. He was the first to ride on the seat. It did good, but I think we broke the transmission. Shout out to Blake for testing the seat. So when we were riding it, I went to do a wheelie into this deep water, and the key for this wheel broke. It sheared it right in half. I happen to have another key and another clip. Let me show you the clip. Let me show you the key. The other clip's gone. See that little sliver right there? This is the sheared axle key. Luckily, I had the pliers in my toolkit and a spare key and a spare E-clip. Maybe less wheelies with the big Gator rear tires. Now it's time to baby it, see if we can get it back to the parking lot.